Welcome, friends, to the best worst of the Milwaukee Bucks. Best worst is when we take a look at the team and we take a look at their best case scenario and their worst case scenario, barring injury, and we talk about it in moderately entertaining fashion. So, welcome, and be careful because this team is really, really good. Yo, the Milwaukee Bucks are probably, if not the second best team in the league. And I think they are going to be the winners of the Eastern Conference, if not the finals. Now, everyone who's watched my Golden State Warriors video will know I think they're going to repeat because I like them and I am a fan of them. Now, that doesn't mean I think that the Bucks have much worse of a chance to get this title. I think the Bucks are one of the top favorites as far as postseason success goes because we've seen what it looks like in this exact form in a winning run. Now, yes, there were some stuff with injury to the Nets in that season that some people are like, "Oh, well," but Giannis also had a 50-15 game in the final. Like what are you gonna say to that? Like how do you argue that? Now, I do think that Nets team is one of the more talented rosters in the league, but I don't want to talk screw the Nets. This is about the Bucks. So, what is their path to success this season? Well, it's pretty simple. They've got Giannis, and they've got Chris Middleton, and they've got Drew Holiday. All three healthy. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I'll also go throw my boy in there, Brooke Lopez, because Brooke Lopez has been a big part of what they like to do as a team. And when he's out, the team is noticeably worse of a team. It just kills some of the variety they have as far as their lineups go. And the thing about Brooke Lopez is that he's also a really good player. So, what does this mean? That means all four of these guys need to be healthy, especially because Brooke Lopez has had injury stuff in the past, as has Chris Middleton. So this season, screw the regular season. I don't care if they're a 4 seed. I don't care if they're a 5 seed. Maybe 5 seed's kind of wild. But, I don't care. As long as they're healthy come the postseason, this team's winning the East. Now, I don't think I really have to elaborate on that, so let's talk about their worst case scenario. Well, barring injury to any of their players, which kind of got talked about in the first part, their worst case scenario is probably I genuinely can't think of a reason other than they're just gonna coast so that they get a 4 seed instead of trying to win 65 games again, right? Or 66 games, whatever they won that one year. It doesn't really seem to be important to them, nor should it be important to them to be a super high seed. But it is the East is scary this year, and I think a lot of seedings are going to be decided by one or two games. So I think the Milwaukee Bucks are pretty much going to keep with the pack and end up where they end up. But as far as I'm concerned, they're the favorites. Not a super interesting best worst video. I'm well aware, which is why, guess what? It's a two-parter! Bro, I'm screaming in this episode. I'm sorry for your ears. I'm kind of stoned, and I apologize to the children. But yeah, it's a two-part thing because they're both really good. So yeah, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are pretty good, right? So maybe Jason Tatum not in the finals. Yikes. But he was dealing with injury, and that is something that could really be the difference maker for them as a team, right? They want to be healthy. Oh, wait, is this deja vu? I have been in this place before. Yeah, it's a little bit of deja vu. It's kind of exactly the thing with the Bucks. You just want your roster to be fully healthy come the postseason. Now, the Boston Celtics had a weird start to the season, and nobody knew about the wrist thing until after the finals. So how much that impacted his play, how much of it was, the physical defense, how much of, who's to say? But it certainly helps to be healthy. Now, Malcolm Brogdon, I believe I already talked about some of Malcolm Brogdon in my trade videos about that because I'm actually, quite like, yeah, Malcolm Brogdon is really good for this roster and makes them one of the best in the East. I would say that's probably the Eastern Conference Finals, barring any regular season seeding shenaniganry that makes them meet in the second round. That being said, I think those are by far the best teams in the East. I think Malcolm Brogdon's passing is an excellent addition to the Celtics roster. I think his efficient scoring and solid defense are something that this team desperately needs. He's a good decision maker. Malcolm Brogdon makes decisions correctly, generally speaking. He's a smart guy. And what the Celtics kind of needed was a smart guy. Because as smart as Marcus Smart is, like, there's so much that he is not capable of doing on a basketball court that the team needed to be a complete roster. And now Malcolm Brogdon brings that. Now, it is curious to see what happens as far as Al Horford and how he ages. I mean, the dude's LeBron age almost. Like, the dude's a dinosaur at this point, and the guy is huge. Like, LeBron's at least like 6'8", 6'9". Like, Al Horford is massive, massive, and that usually doesn't age super well on your knees. That being said, like, I know we got cooked by Curry in the finals, but so did everyone. So it's hard to hold that against him. But it is a point of curiosity. And Robin Williams also, his health is something that has been also in question with his knee. So it's again very similar. As far as the Boston Celtics worst case scenario, I don't see this team being worse than a 2 seed. I just don't see it. I think the Celtics are going to try to prove, because not that anybody really thinks that they were quote unquote frauds, but I think, well, except for Skip Bayless, but who the F cares what Skip Bayless says? Like, let's be honest. But other than that, they kind of want to prove, like, hey, Jason Tatum is a first-team All-NBA player. Jaylen Brown should also be on that short list. These guys want to maybe make an MVP case, or maybe they could be first-team All-NBA teammates, which would be insane, and they'd win a ton of games and just shred records, and then go into the postseason like looking so that everybody is freaking scared to play you, because that's what going for those records does. You can coast in the regular season, but when you go up an all-time great team that has all these indicators that they're gonna crush you, don't tell me guys aren't like shaking just a little bit. Just a little bit. It kind of does. If you're playing against the world champs, you're like, okay, it's the world champs. You're a little bit hesitant maybe sometimes. Like, everybody wants to say that yeah, I want that smoke, but not everybody's like that. Let's be real. Not everybody's like that. Okay. So that's kind of the best worst for the Bucks and the Celtics. I thought it might be good to combine the two. Basically because they would be short and they're kind of very similar. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Shout out to my boy Marquis. He makes Pokemon. What are those Pokemons? Pokemon videos. And I'm going to link his channel because he's my boy. And he spoke me up. And that's love. So shout out to him. Check out his content. And thank you for watching to this point. Peace.